Welcome to aminacademy.com. In chemistry, regarding stoichiometry, let us discuss about limiting reaction and yield. The limiting reactant or limiting reagent. The reactant that gets consumed first in a chemical reaction and therefore limits how much product can be formed is a limiting reactant. That means the reactant that gets consumed first to make a complete chemical reaction and therefore limits how much product can be formed. That is called a limiting reaction. Now further we will discuss about limiting reagents. Limiting reagents are substances that are completely consumed in the completion of a chemical reaction. They are also referred to as limiting agents or limiting reactants. That means it controls the reactions. That is called a limiting reactant. According to the stoichiometry of chemical reactions, a fixed amount of reactants is required for the completion of the reaction. Let us consider the following reaction of the formation of ammonia. Here, to form ammonia, we need 3H2 plus N2 gives 2NH3. That means 3 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of nitrogen gives 2 parts of ammonia. And the reaction gives about 3 moles of hydrogen. Gas are required to react with 1 mole of nitrogen. 1 mole of nitrogen to form a 2 mole of ammonia. For example, but if during the reaction only 2 moles of hydrogen gas are available? For this reaction, here instead of 3 mole, 2 moles only available along with 1 mole of nitrogen. What happened? That means instead of 3 mole of hydrogen, 2 mole is available for 1 mole of nitrogen. What happens? In that case, the entire quantity of nitrogen cannot be consumed because for this hydrogen is not enough. Hydrogen is not enough means the entire nitrogen, in that case, entire quantity of nitrogen cannot be used because its hydrogen is not enough to complete reaction. Because the entirety of nitrogen requires 3 moles of hydrogen gas to react. Hence, the hydrogen gas is limiting the reaction. That means the hydrogen limiting the reactions. This is not complete. This is not completed. And the reaction and is therefore called the limiting reagent for this reaction. That means that hydrogen is limiting reagent. Now let us discuss about percentage yield. Before that, we will discuss further about limiting reaction. Suppose you drive a car. You need gasoline or gas in the tank and oxygen from the air. Means car consumes continuously oxygen to run the engine. When the gasoline runs out, you can't go any further even though there is plenty of oxygen in the air. In other words, the gasoline limits the distance you can travel because it runs out and the reaction in the engine stops. Means there is no gasoline in the tank, we cannot run the car even the oxygen is available in plenty in the air. Here, next we will discuss about percentage yield. Here, the calculated or expected amount of product is called the theoretical yield. The amount of product actually produced is called the actual yield. When you divide actual yield by theoretical yield, you can get the decimal percentage known as the percentage yield of reaction. How to calculate percentage yield? The percentage yield is the actual yield divided by the theoretical yield and multiplied by 100%. For example, the percentage yield is actual yield by theoretical yield into 100. Now, from this formula, we can calculate actual yield. That means in any reaction, we cannot get 100% efficient. That means for engine, suppose for example gasoline engine, that even some amount of petrol, that is gasoline, is used, but it will not yield completely all the amount of gasoline is run. That means all the amount of gas is even used, gasoline is used, we cannot get the complete efficiency because of engine conditions and wastage of petrol, like spilling, and insufficient combustion. Means that is a dark smoke will come out. That means it shows that insufficient condition of reaction. Means here insufficient oxygen, that is not, oxygen is not completely supplied to complete reaction of this gasoline and oxygen. That means 100% efficient we cannot get it. So we have to calculate percentage yield by using the formula. Percentage yield is equal actual yield by theoretical yield in 100. Here yield is actually get out the how much work you are getting out, how much heat you are getting out from the reaction is called an yield. From this discussion we understood about limiting reactant or limiting reagent. That means how the reaction is limited with some reactant. That is something insufficient to complete reaction is called limiting reagents. And also we calculated, we discussed about percentage yield. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.